Hi guys, welcome to Tanked Up.
Have we begun?
We have begun. It's not the end.
Okay.
It's the beginning. Welcome to Tanked Up. It's been a little while since we brought a podcast episode to you, but we're back. I'm Ben Nova. I'm joined by Alex Malpass.
All right.
And I'm joined by Aadil Koji.
Yay.
Hello!
So we are all together again for a lovely, joyous, excellent drinking, fun time, video
Sunday
game talking time.
afternoon drinking session.
Exactly. So, as with every week, we're going to talk about some video games we've been playing, and we're going to drink some excellent craft beer.
Yay.
Yay, hurrah.
Should we get on with that?
Yes. Oh, yes.
What are we drinking?
We are drinking either Redchurch Brewery Bethnal Pale Ale or Crate Brewery Golden Ale.
Let's go to Golden first of all.
Okay. And what are you drinking, Aadil? All the way in Canada, so you're not drinking the same as us.
Yeah, I'm drinking another Boxing Rock Brewing Company, so that's a local, just outside of Halifax beer, and this is the Temptation Red Ale.
Nice.
Ooh.
So we should begin pouring. We've not had a podcast for a few weeks because we've been very, very busy humans.
It's true.
You've heard previous episodes of us talking about how difficult it is for us to find time to play games and find time to podcast. But hopefully we should be bringing an episode to you each week, maybe.
Yeah, well, now that things on my end have settled a little, I will have more of a routine. I'm not bouncing between cities. I stopped bouncing between countries a few episodes ago, but I'm also going to be in the same city for quite some time. Although we do have another scheduling change, which is, of course, Alex is no longer answering phones and emails. He is...
I now work for a brewery in the beer trade. Yay. So I'm a brewing assistant at Bath Ales, which is just down the cycle path from where we live in Bristol, which is lovely. So I get to cycle 20 minutes, not on the road at all. And then the brewery is like, literally there's an industrial park just off the cycle path, and it's the first building in the industrial park. So I just come off the cycle path, and there's like a 5-meter ramp that goes down into the industrial park, and then it's like hard right straight away.
Hello, work.
Yeah, you can smell the hot wort on the cycle path when I'm on the way up, which is a nice smell.
Nice. So you can bring some insider knowledge now.
Yeah.
Slightly more than just a little bit of home brewing as you
true.
were doing previously.
Yeah. I already learnt quite a lot. My first week was grueling. I was on cask washing duties. Just turn my phone off, really. So yeah, I've been put on the shittest jobs in the brewery.
But it's gonna happen first week, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's good though, because you need to like know everything from the ground floor up, but you can't just start brewing there. And like cask washing is a horrible, hard, difficult job. I mean, like it involves having a spray gun that's the size of like a sniper rifle, and it's like connected to this steam producing box that I just push a green button and it means that it's on, and a red button that means that it's off. It's really, really like it's old school. It's like steampunk kind of like technology, because it's all modern and stuff, but it's all really, really basic. It's just like go, stop. Those are the only two.
You're watching some anime and he's just spraying down his steamship. That's what you're doing with
exactly,
barrels.
Yeah. And when you pull the trigger, it's like the whole thing that pushes you backwards.
Oh, it's got kickback.
Yeah, it's such kickback. And you have to have it on pretty much the whole day when you're doing that. And it means that you're just constantly like tensing everything in your upper body, and your back and your chest, whatever, these muscles that I don't have are suddenly like being worked really hard. So yeah, that's fun. And I did some other stuff as well, like I did a variety of loads of different things, fixing stuff, milling grain, digging out the mash tun, I don't know, all sorts of random things. Probably come back to me as we talk.
Yeah. We'll come back to the actual brewing process possibly, and how it's different to a little bit of home brewing.
Yeah,
maybe.
sure.
But Aadil, how's your beer?
I haven't tasted it. It is very dark, not actually as red as you would think. It's more of a orangey brown.
Golden ale. Looks kind of like this ale.
Yeah, it's a little darker than yours.
Yeah. Okay.
It is much bubblier. It's It's got quite a head. Malty nose.
Mm.
Very nice hop. Not too strong in the hops, but nice hoppy presence that sort of fades quickly. And the finish is just slightly bitter, but really dull. Like it lingers, but it's very low. I think don't really know what I would say about the tasting notes. It tastes like a good hoppy beer. I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and if I have other ideas of what makes this unique, I'll pop in.
What would you give it out of, say, 10?
You're loving your scores at the
Yeah,
moment.
well, now I can't taste it. I need
that's true.
Some kind of numeric.
I would say it's a very high rated red ale, despite not being very red.
So what's that out of 10? That's
I don't like out of 10s, because then you can compare them across, and if they're different breeds, then an 8 out of 10...
An 8 out of 10 for a red ale isn't necessarily an 8 out of 10 for an IPA.
Yeah, well, then you're just... That. Yeah, but then we might as well just say it's a very good red ale, which is what I'm saying.
I would drink it.
I would gladly drink it all afternoon.
Nice. Okay. Well, this Crate Brewery Golden Ale is not at all what I thought it would be. It's quite bitter.
It's smoky. It reminds me of that New Bristol Ooh La La.
The New Bristol Ooh La La?
Mm-hmm. We had that and we were all a bit like, ooh, that's weird. It was kind of smoky like this, and sort of coppery.
Was that Flame?
Maybe it was Flame.
Yeah.
Which was a red ale.
That was.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this is smoky. It's quite sort of bitter. It's got a slightly lingering aftertaste.
I wouldn't say bitter.
No?
I'm not getting bitter from it. No, not really. It does have a lingering aftertaste, but I think that's the smokiness.
Mm. It's a little coppery as well. There's a little sort of metallic-y sort of ting to it. Not huge, but a little bit.
I'm going to interrupt and say you brought up the Flame, which was our first experience with Indian red ales.
Yeah.
And we were sort of surprised at how not hoppy it was. And I would say this Temptation red ale I would classify as an India red ale in that you have that strong hoppy first initial taste, although it doesn't last through the finish. But it seems much more applicable for that name than the actual IRA we had the first time.
Nice. Right, let's get into this. Let's talk about some games. And as we've not heard from you, Aadil, for several weeks, what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing much. Like I said, for personal reasons, I've been bouncing around the country of Canada. And so I did a thing out of pure curiosity, which is I started playing a mobile pay-to-win MMO called Game of War Fire Rage.
It sounds terrible.
It is impossible to do well without putting money in.
You surprised at that?
No. I just really the first like 10 or 12 levels you max out at 21 are reasonably easy. And
Aadil got distracted by a door opening.
Yeah,
for those
ghost in his place.
Speaking.
Yeah.
What kind of game is it? What do you?
It's like kind of like MMO that's more like kind of like Civ or Rise of Nations. Like you have your own small kingdom, which has a set number of external buildings, which can be farms or quarries or logging camps for the 4 main resources, food, or stone, wood. And then inside you can have choose your number of barracks, which means you can train more troops at a time. Choose your number of villas, which means you can earn silver, and your troop times are lower. Hospitals, which means if your city's attacked, if you have a big hospital, you have enough beds that your troops don't die, you can heal them, which takes a lot less time than retraining. A watchtower for scouting purposes, so you learn more information about your attackers. And research. And then research, which is the big thing, which lets you have lower training costs, make more ore per hour, etc. And all these things just on timers. And you can the main currency is gold. You can earn gold through special events. There's some tiles. So basically, you have your kingdom, which is on a tile in a map in a kingdom, and there's hundreds of kingdoms. And then you can send your troops to occupy tiles that have certain resources.
Are all of the other kingdoms other players, or is it AI?
So all the kingdoms are just maps, and each player has their own city. And their city is, it takes up one tile, and you can teleport around. You sort of join an alliance, just like WoW guilds, and your alliance, trades resources and helps each other out. And if you don't have a peace shield up, which means you can't attack or be attacked, you're open to be attacked. And so every so often, the players who've spent there are players who spent over $100,000 on this game.
Shit.
What?
Yeah. It's really, really weird. And then so they have power. I played for about over a month, and I was at 10 million power. And then if these people are in the billions.
So this is ultimately pay to win as well. So they just sunk a shitload of money in.
Yeah, they teleport in and then they just destroy every person in sight, and then they teleport out. So you always have
$100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, what? That's insane.
It's totally ridiculous. It is. I can see how addictive it is because you have quest timers, which are daily quests, which renew every 8 hours.
Okay.
And you have alliance quests once you join an alliance, which is just the same thing, but every time you get a quest reward, you get the quest rewards and points into the alliance store. And then VIP quests, because you need a VIP level, because VIP level gets you perks like auto-completing daily and alliance quests and getting percent things, boosts on troops and training, and so it's just a network of timers.
Yeah. Just embeds you into this idea that you need to keep coming back at certain times of day to be able to do that one thing that goes against this one timer. Then have to come back 10 minutes later to do the next thing that goes against a different timer.
$100,000, if you're going to sink it on something like that, do some drugs or something. At least get high. I mean, just a game. $100,000. That's insane.
It is interesting because people take it a lot more seriously. So the guild I joined, it's called Domino in Kingdom 529. Hello, Dominoians. I don't know what they're called. Dominonians, yes. I've nicknamed the guild Dramino because there's a lot of drama, as all MMO guilds have. But because people are putting real money in, and some people like myself aren't really, I put $5 in to see what buying up a pack would do, and it does give you a bunch of speed ups and resources, and then you can easily cruise through, and then you're like, oh, huh. And they're very, very clever because as you play, you get these $5.79 is the price for the pack they offer you. And different times of the week, it'll be more lucrative or less lucrative. As soon as you buy a $5 pack, the packs now don't come in at $5. It's now the $11.99 pack. And that one has more things than a $5.79, but you don't have the option of buying another $5 pack. That is not offered to you anymore. And then it's at the $22 level, and then something, and then ultimately there's $120 packs. And you in order to do things they came up with a dungeon that sits in your city, and you can go in and use dark energy, which you can either buy for gold from the store or earn through events and rewards. A basic attack takes 5,000 energy and gets you an okay reward, but if you buy the right type of pack, you get the ability to do a max hit, basically, which gets you way better rewards for 50,000 points a pop. But in order to get that ability, you cannot get that ability without spending money.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot, you actually can't do all of the things unless you spend money.
Yeah,
if you
so
want
it's
to use
payable.
if you want to use your money to buy a gift for a guild member or something, you can't because in order to give gifts of actual items, like I'm buying this item for you, you need to have bought one of the $100+ packs which have that ability locked in. So that's out.
It seems insane that there's just so many different tiers and levels and packs and just this.
Oh yeah, and like
Whoever's sort of making it must have such a complex sort of money-making flow chart going on somewhere in the back, just on their giant wall at their office. Just like, if we do this and change this one, we can make more money. Yeah,
probably 2 people in a shed or something with a server in it. They probably have fuck all overheads.
well, but they spent a lot of money on advertising, right? Like they hired Kate Upton to be their.
Oh, it's that one.
It's that one. Yeah. It's the
yeah.
The one that shows no gameplay whatsoever. It just shows a big boobed Kate Upton in a toga walking around eating grapes.
Right, so that was enough for you to think, I want to get this.
I was really curious what the game was, and then I ended up they're decent people. I chat with them. I like them. They're good people. And I clicked the buttons. And frankly, because my life has been really topsy turvy, I haven't had a lot of time to sit on a game. So I turned the phone on. Push the buttons every 6 hours. Sorry, not 8 hours. Every 6 hours, a quest renew, which gets you back 2-3 times a day. But then I've progressed to a point where it's really interesting because it actually made it easier. Right when I was like, well, I don't have any time to keep coming back for because training takes like an hour the first little while. But then as you level up your types of troops and amount of troops, it takes longer. So now my research, if I don't use speed ups, is like a 7-day research task. The building tasks are like 4 days long, and training is a day and a half, which means I could just set these things, walk away, and come back in a day, and I have nothing to do unless I use speed ups to speed things up. But then every hour there's an Inferno event, which gives you like 5 points for each research power you get up, 1 point for each tier 1 troop you get, etc. And then you get prizes if you hit one of the 3 different thresholds. So it encourages you to burn speed ups on the hour, and at the same time there's solo events which are 3 hours long and much easier to get the points for. And then there's alliance level events and kingdom level events, and so the more points you earn on these events, the more rewards you or your kingdom or your alliance gets.
It seems very complex in terms of sort of all of the different things that you can actually go and do.
It's all funneled to you wanting speed ups to churn through things faster, which means you need resources faster than you will generate them, which means you need to buy packs for either speed ups or raw resources.
It's basically like you're an economy that's only got so much output, and you want to have a certain GDP ratio or whatever, and you think, I could invest in infrastructure projects and generate this through hard work and elbow grease. Or I could borrow loads of money off the bankers and stuff. That's basically this game is promoting what's wrong with the global economic system in general. Is that fair?
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
Tangential enough? Or?
And you'll notice I haven't really talked about battle at all at this point. The other thing is you have a hero which gives boosts, but they can be captured, and after 3 days they can be executed if the person has an altar, as well as a prison building. And the hero, but there's also monsters, and you can only attack level 1 monsters until you research the hero tree to the point where you unlock other levels. They take more energy to kill. You can hit once. For this, your max energy starts at 10,000. And then you can hit once or do a max attack, which uses almost 10,000, which hits them for harder, but not super hard, but you get better rewards out of it. So it's just another different part of it. So basically there's 7 different trees in the research, and they all represent different treadmills, arms of the treadmills in the game. So you can't, you have to juggle all these things, all these timers. Actually, I'm going to just concentrate on hero this for a while, because my alliance lives in a region which mostly has level 3s and 4 monsters, and I can't even attack them, let alone kill them. It's ridiculous. Oh, also the heroes have gear, which you can only make out of items you randomly get from mining or from chests. But those come in different tiers, and the boosts from it's amazing how much. Like, it's actually been really interesting to keep going through and just see how complex they've made it, but yet it's still enjoyable to people.
It sounds like it could be very addictive to a certain sort of personality of person, or a certain person who likes that kind of game, that you would want to constantly come back every sort of 6 hours to be able to hit your timer to be able to do things, and then every other 3 hours to be able to do the extra things and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you must find that people sleep and wake up in the middle of the night like, oh no, I've got to do this.
Oh yeah,
because it's a mobile phone, I suppose it makes it massively accessible for you to just be able to pick it up, while you're in bed, while you're at work, at any point, just to be able to do your couple of little timed events for 5 minutes and jump back off. I mean, so how long is a session as such? How long do you spend in game versus, how many times you go onto it, sort of thing?
Oh, so because everything's timing, and because my life has been up and down, I tend to log in for like a minute or two, maybe 5, and then come back in like another 5 minutes to just reset a timer. It's mindless.
Yeah.
It's also caused some consternation in my relationship because my brain's like, oh, the timer's done, you should check your phone, and it'll only take a minute. But the freaking game,
it's sucking you in, man.
Oh yeah, it needs to load. Like, the loading takes like 20 seconds as soon as you leave. Like, it's not like you can just Alt-Tab away and come back. It needs to reinitialize every time. So, like, the general boot-up time of a game on a mobile phone isn't great. And this one, as soon as you leave the game, it needs to do that entire load-up again.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so it's burning time for no reason as well. Like, it's just poorly coded, I think. It just drives me nuts.
Disincentivating you, if that's a word. Is that
Disincentivizing?
a word?
Yeah.
Disincentivizing. I don't know. It's trying to make you play it constantly. It's like, you quit, you should be punished for not continuing.
Yeah.
Basically.
So that's that. Now that I have my PC and my PlayStation and my projector all set up, I suspect that this game, and like my life will have a routine, I suspect I'll go back to actual games.
Yeah. Well, it almost sounds very similar, apart from all the pay to win and timed things, to a couple of games that I've been playing recently.
Nice segue.
Yeah, good segue. if we can move on. However, we may need to open another beer.
Okay, which one should we open then? The other one.
The other one, yes. Which one is that?
We do Bethnal Pale Ale. So I'm assuming there's some Bethnal green thing going on in this. Is Redchurch in London?
I think Redchurch is a London brewery, yep.
Yes, it is. I know that. Definitely.
I'm pretty sure I looked on the label and it says London. There you go.
Hey, don't mind this label. I think it's a dignified label, if you can see that. It's just writing.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
On a nice coloured background.
And a nice non-serifed font. Not quite Helvetica, a little wider. It's good.
Welcome to the Font Podcast, if you're joining us halfway through.
Fontcast. Have you seen the documentary on Helvetica?
No.
It is. I watched it almost a decade back, I guess, at the Calgary International Film Fest, and it's actually worth watching. It was surprisingly captivating for a documentary about a font.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, this is
smells nice.
It's nice.
Sort of a gold straw color, would you say?
Yeah, very, very light. It tastes quite similar to that homebrew we just drank a few minutes ago. Very orangey, citrusy.
It does. Yeah.
Very pale.
Very pale. If that's a flavour.
No, it's a colour right now.
Yeah. No,
How's the nose?
Is very nice.
It's not over the top, but it gives you a nice indication that it's going to be like a hoppy-ish kind of citrusy beer, and it is. It's one of those beers where the nose matches the taste. Because I know we've had a couple on here where the nose just is completely different to what it tastes like.
Yeah.
I, for one, don't like that. I don't like surprises. I definitely don't like bad surprises. I don't want to be disappointed with it.
No, man, especially when we've had some beers where you think that the nose is really nice and then it's almost sort of flavourless and just sort of a bit bland. But this matches very well. Sort of.
It's even worse when it's a bland beer and it has such a strong nose because the juxtaposition makes it so much, the blandness so apparent.
Yeah. So that means that they've dry hopped it loads to get the smell, but they haven't put enough late additions in on the boil.
Okay.
For those who want to know.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm going to comment again on this Temptation Red Ale. I will say my biggest complaint about it is that there aren't a lot of other tastes going on. You don't have notes of much. I've been sipping it throughout, and it's a solid red ale, but like there's nothing else going on. It's kind of disappointing. However, that's probably why I'm like, I could drink this all afternoon because there's no note that intrigues, but there's also no note that offends. You know what I mean? Like I would never not be in the mood for it, but at the same time, I'd be like, I'm not going to be like, I really feel like the Temptation Red Ale. Instead, it's like I feel like a red ale. I'll grab this, or if that's there, it's good beer.
Yeah. Nice. So, on a similar note as you've been chatting about, Aadil, I have been playing Age of Empires 2 and 3.
Oh, I just installed those.
Yeah, so I picked them up on the Steam sale weeks and weeks ago now.
Are they actually free?
No, they were
$2.99 or something.
Yeah, I think it was about £5, but I got Age of Empires 2 expansion packs for it, and Age of Empires 3. And when I was young, I mean, these games Age of Empires 2 must be 12 years old now, and Age of Empires 3 maybe sort of 8 to 10 years old. And they are RTS games, very similar to something like Civilization or Total War, almost a mix between the two of them. So you don't have sort of different cities as you do with Civilization. You have almost one city, and as with the game that Aadil's been talking about, you can put and build different buildings that allow you to do different things. So you can build a barracks, which allow you to build foot soldiers, or a stable, which allows you to build cavalry.
There's always a granary.
I think it's a mill, and you can build farms around the mill. And it's all about resource collection, being able to build a larger army. And ultimately, it's not quite as in-depth as Civ, and you don't have as many different ways of winning.
Is there research?
There is research. It's quite limited. The tree's quite small. You research more. So you've got you build a blacksmith's and the different kinds of, or a university. The university then allows you to upgrade your walls from stone walls to fortified stone walls, or your watchtowers up to the next level of watchtower sort of thing. You can upgrade your different military units, and that's normally, so your men at arms can be upgraded to long swordsmen, something like that, within the barracks sort of unit. And the whole idea is to basically build a giant army and destroy everybody in your path. And I remember just putting so many hours into these games, sort of when I was younger. And other games similar to this, so something like Command and Conquer, Dawn of War, very, very similar games, but in a more medieval sort of way. And I think the reason that I sort of wanted to talk about it was because we had a few weeks back, there was the Steam weekend for Total War.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried out one of the, I can't remember.
Shogun?
No, I tried out Attila, Total War Attila.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like it. It took, I think it just took a little bit too long to be able to get into. So the battles just seemed a little bit too drawn out for me. Whereas something like Age of Empires is very quick. It's very accessible. You can build an army of, say, 10 swordsmen, send them off to the next town along, kill a few villagers, kill a few of their soldiers, take out a couple of houses, and then ultimately you will get destroyed by a couple of cavalry units that they've very quickly built whilst you're attacking them, or they bring all of their villagers back into their town centre, which then fires arrows down upon you as you're attacking it. And it's quite a gratifying game, which you're sort of getting this satisfaction in very quick, short bursts. So it's great in that sort of way.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
Is it more of a sort of single time play? Like Civ tends to be like you play it for a session, come back to the same empire, play it for a session, long run.
I mean, I think so. I've played a few games of both 2 and 3, and yes, you tend to sit down for maybe an hour session and you play out the whole game. Or if you don't play out the whole game, I've found that I'm not going back to the same game, I'm starting a new game. So I'm wanting to build up my town and my army and stuff from scratch, rather than going back to something sort of pre-built that I'm halfway through, or not even halfway through, sort of more towards the end.
As well. Like, I get stuck sort of, I don't know, about the year 1000 or something, having started it from prehistoric times.
Yeah.
You come back to it and you're like, yeah, it's like impossible to defeat the empire next to me because they're just too far ahead, blah, blah, blah. I'll just start again. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just see how I can navigate up. Maybe I'll get a lucky break somewhere along the line and I'll be better when I get to that point again. I very rarely come back, really.
I think with Age of Empires, it's very... the way that the game is going to play out is determined by your starting position.
Yeah.
So, what was the game you played, Aadil? Game of War?
Game of War. Game of War,
so,
Fire Age.
So the similarly to that...
Fire Age.
What's the Fire Age? What does that mean?
Fire Rage. Yeah. Like when you have a really hot curry or something.
Or is that just when you get fired and you just go mental at your ex-place of work and just smash things off
I believe
desks?
it's called going postal.
Exactly.
That's right, yeah.
So, as with Game of War, it's all about resource management, collecting resources and things. So, if your town centre and your first sort of villagers pops or is spawned in an area where there's barely any forest and you can't then collect wood, you're very limited in what you can get. And certain...
I'm seeing everything as a double entendre. I think it's Adil's presence.
You can't get wood. But certain armies, so like the British, their elite unit is longbowmen. And even that, how is that fucking sexy? So anyway, to be able to create one of these units, you use wood and gold rather than food and gold, which is what gets men-at-arms. And they're an elite unit. They're really good. They're really powerful. But as I say, if you're not next to some woodland to be able to get wood, then you're almost you're instantly at a disadvantage.
Right.
So it does depend very much on where your starting point is. And I played a couple of games where you play for 15 minutes and you go, right, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. It's really difficult where I've started. But it's good as such if you want very different difficulties per playthrough without having to pick a difficulty setting as such. But I'm sort of just find that that's not quite what I want from it. I want to have a decent standard sort of starting position and starting area to be able to build up from. So everyone's almost at an equal footing to begin the game on. And I think Age of Empires 3, so that's something that happens in Age of Empires 2, and Age of Empires 3 sort of almost addresses that because they brought into it home cities. So Age of Empires 3 is all about the new world. So all of the maps are the Americas, or more specifically, sort of North and Central Americas. So you have a home city. So on almost a timed basis, you can have resources shipped to you from your home city. So it doesn't matter where you start. So you're not surrounded by woodland, or you don't have deer to be able to hunt, and there's not enough food around. You can have food or gold or wood shipped over to you based upon this timer. So it almost gives you more of an equal footing in the third game than it does in the second one. And almost with the third one, that ultimately makes the game even quicker because you can amass resources in a much quicker sort of time period. So you can make bigger armies to be able to just send off to be destroyed by the next town along, or to destroy the next town along and be decimated in the process. So you have to build another army to be able to take over the next sort of town. But as I say, you do get very sort of short, gratifying hits from these games. But as you were saying, Aadil, it's something that you might play for an hour, put down, and the next time you come back to it, you'll just start again. You'll start a different town. You might play as a different sort of civilization and go from there.
Sort of RTS games, in my mind, sort of take the StarCraft, Warcraft line, or the Civ line, where in the Civ line, the point is you lasting, growing, etc. While the sort of StarCraft types of RTSs are more twitch. They're more about how fast, like Zerg rushing, right? Like how fast can I grow an army and conquer everyone? Age of Empires is still in the former category, right? The Civ style?
No. Age of Empires is much more sort of StarCraft. It's much more twitch. It's much more reactionary, almost. Suddenly you'll have a scout from another town, on horseback come through your village, and you think, oh, okay, I can see that very quickly this guy has appeared, so the next town to me must actually be
really close,
quite close. So you might then, create a band of swordsmen, militia, who then go out just to look for it, and basically just get a couple of guys together and just like go and see where those motherfuckers are. Just go and see what they're doing. So I mean, it's nice it's a good game for little sort of, as I say, gratifying, short sort of gameplay hits.
So I'll end my pestering you with one last question. Is it more of a self-gratifying game, or is it one that you would want to participate with others in? Like StarCraft is not nearly as fun solo.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I've played a few games by myself. There's with both of the Age of Empires games, there are campaigns, and the campaigns aren't the same as, well, the campaign scenarios aren't the same as just a normal game of Age of Empires. So one of the campaign scenarios is get this. I started the Joan of Arc campaign in Age of Empires 2, and it starts you off. The first level of that is get Joan of Arc as such before she becomes Joan of Arc. Get her from this Frankish settlement to a different Frankish settlement, and to avoid the British army that is pillaging and going through, to avoid the Burgundy army. Burgundian, yes, possibly like Gungans, but a little bit different.
But
you have to, you have to basically get her through the level. Whereas a normal game and a multiplayer game, you don't have objectives like that. It is almost be the best, destroy everybody else. And I find that online against other people, there's not as many people playing Age of Empires 2 as there are playing Age of Empires 3. It was very quick to find a game in Age of Empires 3. But it's just so quick. Other players are just on you so quickly, and you've barely got a chance to explore your surroundings and things. So there must be people that have been playing these games for years and are just brutally awesome at them, and just come along and it's someone like me who's picked it up after not playing it for 8 years, just get destroyed. And that's when you go into the campaign and look at the campaign levels.
So what you're saying is we should have a little tanked up tourney.
That would be good. That would.
And by tourney, I mean only two of us own it, I think. So maybe not a tourney so much as
that'd be like a finals
game. Yeah,
yeah, straight into the finals. Yeah,
I believe we call that just a match. A tanked up match. I like the alliteration, but that failed miserably. Speaking of failing miserably, check out this segue. Alex, what have you been playing?
Well, actually, not talking about failing miserably, because I've been getting up for getting up at like 5:30 every day to get in for work. I've been, and then doing manual labour for 9 hours and coming home again. I've been correspondingly fucked last week. And the previous week, I knew I was leaving my meaningless office job and was therefore putting in no effort whatsoever. So the juxtaposition between the two has been intense. I have managed to fit in, as in my kind of recreational FIFA playing, as I normally do. Got myself out of Division 4, which I'd been lingering in for ages, even though clearly I'm better than a Division 4 player. Because sometimes it would just be like, this guy's a chump and he's in the same division as me. I should be better than this. So I managed to get myself into Division 3. And just today, actually, I played my final game of the first season in Division 3 this time round. Went 3-0 down by half time. Scored 5 goals in the second half.
Nice.
Messi got 4 goals. And he got 2 really sweet lobs over the keeper in a space of about 30 seconds. And I could just feel the guy being like, "Oh, you prick! How you fucking..." It's so good. Because I'm thinking, well, I could just jack out. It's just 3-0. I'm probably not going to win. 5 goals back. And that was the last game. And I needed to win it to stay in the division. And I did. So that was quite nice.
Excellent.
So your gaming's coming in very short bursts.
Yeah.
The occasional game of FIFA at the moment.
That's right, because work's just been intense, but fun, but nice. I'm enjoying it. I'm working a lot harder, and I'm earning less money technically, but I actually want to be there rather than in my old job where I would get more money to do less. But I just hated everything about it.
You're doing something you enjoy, which makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
And the people are cool. It's like, obviously it's all men because it's a brewery and it's not.
Whoa! Obviously.
Well, obviously,
I suppose it attracts.
I guess you're saying more like probabilistically.
Yeah, I mean, and like for instance, they all have beards.
Yeah.
It's quite cliched, really. The people who work there, but they're all kind of cool, nice people. I think that was partly like the reason why I got the job, because I didn't have loads of experience. But
you have a beard, though.
Yeah, I had a beard when I went into the interview, and I think that the manager guy must have just chatted to me for a bit and just thought, yeah, he'll get on with these guys.
Yeah,
so that'll be fine, kind of thing.
I think when you're a small team of people, that makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Yeah,
to know that someone's going to be able to just, even if it takes them a week or 2 weeks or something, someone that will be able to ease into the team and just get along with everybody, really.
So I knew I was going to get on with most of them, because on Tuesday at lunchtime in the little kitchen thing, there was like 4 of us in there eating and chatting, and this guy Toby sort of apologised and then said that he had this joke that had been going around in his head all day, and he needed to get it out of his system. And it's great. I think you'll like this one, Aadil, because the joke goes, I went to an King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table themed party the other night. There were loads of bitches there. You should have seen the Galahad.
Oh dear.
And I cracked up at that point, and I was like, yes, I rate that joke. That is a good joke.
Out of all of the people listening, Aadil may be the only person that laughed.
Oh dear.
I liked it.
I'm assuming later that night there was a lot of Lancelotting.
Oh no! What's going on?
Yeah. I replied by pointing out that
I should have said he used his Lancelot. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that was the joke. I apologize.
The re-joke. Yeah. But yeah, so I came back by saying that I once didn't get a job precisely on the basis that I made a pun to the manager too early, and it was like I didn't scope out properly whether he'd laugh at this type of joke or not. But basically, it was I was working in an off license. Well, it was my trial shift, and he sent me downstairs to get a load of like a crate of Stella or something. And in the cellar, the Stellas were like in between 2 other big stacks of crates on either side. So I had to pull it out, and it was like wedged in. So as I was pulling it out, one of these massive stacks kind of started wobbling a little bit, and it was mainly made of Bacardi breezers. And then I went back upstairs with these Stellas and put them down, and he was like, right, how did you find that kind of thing? And I said, well, fine, except that I almost got killed by the Leaning Tower of Breezer. But he just like looked at me with a completely straight face, like, right, but you didn't, so Do you want to put those Stellas over there? I was just like, thinking, yeah, we're not going to get on. This isn't going to be a fun working relationship. In fact, you hate me for everything I stand for. You stand against.
Just stares through you.
Yeah, that's right.
Put them over there.
I would have kept you on if I was that guy.
If only you'd been my boss at that point.
Nice. Good. But you're enjoying it?
Yes, much more than my old job, which can go fuck itself.
And I suppose it's fair. Yeah, good. But it's one of those things that it is just pure physical work.
Yeah.
And you'll ease into it, though, won't you? So it will become easier. You have more time to be able to come home and relax as you just get used to it, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I start earlier, but equally, I somehow can get up at the same time, just about, and get there on time. Because it's not like being in an office where you need to, like if you cycle in, you kind of need to get changed and get ready to be in an office for the rest of the day. It's like I'm basically working in a weird factory with loads of like steampunk machinery everywhere that makes alcohol. And after about 5 minutes of shoveling like mash out of the mash tun or cleaning crates or whatever you're doing, you're fucking sweating and it's hot and it's so fucking hot. When you go up one level inside, it gets to about 30 degrees because all this shit like steam and everything going up. And then occasionally you have to go up again. If your job at that point, which I've done a couple of times, which is stirring the grain, because they mill their own grain there.
Oh, wow.
So they get unmilled and then you drop it into the mill that crushes it. Then it goes back down a thing and then all the way up to the second floor and then dropped into a thing which pours it into the mash tun. So if that's happening, someone has to be up there to stir the grain as it comes out of the chute
so that it doesn't
build up. Yeah, exactly. That's a horrible job because it's about 40 degrees. So 40 degrees centigrade, where it's fucking hot up there. On any day of the year, it's always pretty much the same temperature because it's always open to the air anyway. And it was just like, so there's no point looking tidy or whatever. You just kind of get there, get off your bike.
Just crack on.
Yeah, clock in and get on with it. So I can turn up 5 minutes before I need to start work and just start work.
You haven't got to be presentable for managers and other phone
There's no
monkeys.
bullshit like that. There's no bloody team leaders mincing around their rules and their values or whatever the fuck they have.
No more TPS reports?
Yeah, no more spreadsheets. Yeah. No more, none of that. But it's not just manual labour. I mean, I'm learning stuff as I'm going along about how it works, and I'm getting trained up so that I can do stuff in there other than just lifting and carrying.
Actually brewing some beer as well. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, every day I'm talking to the brewer about what he's doing and learning things about how it works. And
nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good fun.
Good. So, you've not played any games apart from FIFA?
No.
Which is always good.
I've not played any games apart from FIFA.
Have you played anything else, Aadil? Or have you just been on the road between cities on your phone?
Yeah. Slowly making domestic affairs not as well as they could be.
Fair.
Just not letting go of the phone.
Fair. So, I suppose I'll finish off by talking about one more game that I've played, which is the most absurd game I think I have ever played.
Ooh, that's a
Super Hexagon.
No.
Got it in there. Got the Super Hexagon.
Yeah, get Super Hexagon in my account.
It's not absurd. It's simple. I don't think Super Hexagon is absurd.
Super Hexagon is absurd. Imagine if Super Hexagon were true. That would be absurd.
What, if you were a pilot in a ship?
I don't know what you mean by
that.
that.
You had to try and get around walls and a kaleidoscopic...
Oh my god. You know what we need to do?
Exactly. If that happened, you'd be like, this is absurd. What's going on?
We need to make a first-person Super Hexagon. Where you just see these massive walls shifting as you spin around and play.
So make it for VR and just get everybody to puke everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they need to make the film of Super Hexagon. Okay, so you see this triangle
thing. Who are casting
thing
Tom Cruise as the pilot?
Yeah, or Will Smith, someone like that.
It's definitely you do the first person view one, and then the movie's based on the first person one.
Right. Yeah.
Who would be the baddie? Who would be the
wall?
I was going to say there isn't really a baddie, is there? Maybe to make it a film, to make it a story, you have to make somebody the baddie who has created this nightmare wall enclosing
Dr. Hexagon.
Yeah.
Evil Dr.
Yeah. Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, yeah.
There we go.
It should be. Somebody English, anyway.
He was a good villain in Fifth Element. So
was he ever?
Yeah. So he's our villain. There you go.
Nice.
Done. We're there.
We've now stunt casted Super Hexagon the movie.
So if there's any film producers listening who have a spare...
Or Terry Kavanagh.
40 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Or Terry Kavanagh to give us the blessing to use his copyright.
Yeah, I assume we're all getting executive producer credits in this as well.
Oh, no, you know what's going to happen? Hollywood's going to hear this podcast, because of course Hollywood listens to Tanked Up.
Just Hollywood.
In 6 months, they're going to announce the Christian Bale awesome polyhedron.
It's got nothing to do with Super Hexagon. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, hexagons are 2D. This is clearly 3D.
Yeah. Right. To drag it back to the absurdity of the game I'm playing. The game I've been playing is called NotGTAV 5.
Oh, that's amazing already.
Yeah, that is amazing.
And it's basically Snake.
Yes, which isn't GTA 5.
Which is definitely not GTA 5. It's Snake. Yes. That's what it is. But there's different levels. So
Snake has different levels.
So Snake's more of a one continuous game where you pick up. It does get faster. Not GTA 5, however, has different things to achieve in these levels. So it's basically the game of Snake. So as with Snake, you are moving around a 2D plane. You can go up, down, left, or right. The first level, you are Daffyd, and you are on your campsite in Wales, and you have to run over the campers. The second level is
this a phone? This is a phone.
No. This is through. You can get this on Steam, and I got it for about 50p. I think it's a bit more expensive now because it's about 50p for the launch week. The second level, you had something that was moving, which you had to hit, and you move through, and you go through, and you go through. And then the second set of levels is, I can't remember the character name. It's like Darren from Swindon. And you have to drive around Lidl's car park, hitting homeless people or something. However, the third level, you're David Cameron.
Oh, amazing.
And it's so gratifying to fail the level as David Cameron, driving around London to just crash into something and see this little blood splat where you were David Cameron on the screen.
Nice.
You get bonus levels. So at the end of each of these chapters, as such, you get a bonus level. So the first one for Daffyd, you're in the campsite toilet block, and you have to collect soap. And you can either choose to do it stealthily, so you have to avoid the people taking showers, or do it brutally and kill all of the people taking showers.
By running them over, presumably.
Exactly. So as with Snake, basically, you're moving up, down, left and right to hit each of these little grid squares to kill these people and collect the soaps. With the David Cameron level, you have to collect leaked documents to stop them from being leaked to the public. And each of them are sort of, just kind of just as tax credits on the document. Very topical at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, that's it's quite a fun little game just to spend sort of 10 minutes.
That's not playing. GTA.
It's called Not GTA 5.
Not GTA 5.
And I assume it's called that to get a little bit of interest to use GTA 5 as pure advertisement for it. But as soon as you start the game up, there's this long scrolling screen that says, this game is definitely not GTA 5 and has no relation to Rockstar Games or Take-Two whatsoever. There's a massive disclaimer in the front of it. But
it's not GTA, and then it's the 4 vertical lines, and then strike through. Like
strike through, yeah.
Like the Tally 5 rather than the V. I like that a lot. Sorry, I may have opened up Steam.
Yeah,
to look at.
But it's, I mean, for a 50p game, it's quite fun, and it's one of those games that you sit on Steam and think, oh, shall I play this? Shall I play a little bit more of the Banner Saga, which is quite very story heavy, great game, very story heavy, quite intense in sort of the strategic elements and the battles and the decisions that you have to make. This is just one of those games where you can just go, I'll play this for 5 minutes. Yeah, just not be invested in it, not think about it.
Nice.
All you've got to do is hit your arrow keys to be able to progress through it. Yeah, exactly. It's so simple.
But it has 2 more directions than Super Hexagon.
That's true. Super Hexagon is just left and right.
That's true, I suppose. That's true.
But yes, it's, as with Age of Empires, it's gratifying. Obviously, my word of the week. Gratifying.
Good. The gratifying word.
Yes.
All right, so
otherwise known as gangster ratifying. That's G ratifying.
Nice.
Yeah, being GTA associated, perhaps. Yes.
On that gangster ratified bombshell, I think we should call it a day.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
So
I preferred the Bethnal Pale Ale.
I agree. I preferred the Bethnal Pale Ale.
I would not want to drink that Golden Ale by Crate Brewery again.
No, I think it was a bit too
shit.
Coppery, I think we had this with another beer where it was just a bit too coppery, wasn't it?
We don't like coppery
beers. Signature brew was just a bit too metallic. And I think this Golden Ale, nowhere near, or not similar to any of the other Golden Ales we've had. Completely different.
No. Not what I want a Golden Ale to taste like. I thought it shouldn't taste like that. It should be like summery and sweet and, I don't know.
Rainbows.
Not smoky. Yeah, rainbows. That's right, exactly.
Unicorns, stuff like that. Yeah, so definitely the Redchurch Brewery Bethnal Pale Ale.
Yeah, drinkable.
Very, very. I like that. It's nice. What about yours, Aadil? Would you continue? Well, you've already said you'd drink again.
My Canadian beer of the week, I think, after much contemplation, will be Temptation Red Ale. It has been all the other ones this week. I think I would definitely drink it again. I think it's like a beginning of patio season or end of patio season. So there's a sun, but a little bit of a brisk wind.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Perfect beer. Yeah,
autumn, basically.
As you had
or beginning of spring.
As you had on Canada Day or Canadian Day.
Canada Day.
Canada Day.
Canada
Day.
No, Canada Day.
What is it? Canada Day? Canada Day?
Canada Day. Canada is never in our official anything.
Right, that is it. We're done for another week.
Done.
So you can get myself, Ben, at Nova_47 on Twitter. You can get the Tanked Up, we can get us at Tanked Up _cast on Twitter as well. You can also email us if you wish to at tankedup.cast@gmail.com. If for any reason you ever feel the need to say, I fucking hate this, it's shit. And you can get Aadil on Twitter at
the Omniarch, TheOmniarch. You can also find us on our Tanked Up Cast Facebook, facebook.com/tankedupcast.
Yes, you can.
And there's something else. Isn't there something else?
No, I think that's it.
YouTube.
You can put a message in a bottle and push it out and see, and I might get it one day.
One day, whilst you're in a boat at some point in your life.
Or you could run round. Just start running. Just chip over wherever you are. It doesn't matter. Just run over now and tell me what you want, and then I'll be like, okay, cool. See you later.
Thanks for that, boy. Yeah.
I will say, if you find us on YouTube and subscribe, we do have other videos outside of the podcasts, like our Hector video.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which we put up a few weeks ago now.
Yeah. By our, I mean you two, not you, the listener. Because I wasn't a part of it. But yes,
the Tanked Up brand.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we do have other things on our YouTube. Other than that, again, messages in bottles, skywriting, smoke signals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm burning all your potential things. Oh, wishful thinkings. I just realized you could do a different one per week, but now I've burned a couple of weeks worth of that.
It's okay, fine.
Prayers, dreams, all of them.
I'm quite happy to repeat myself. I'm fine with that. It's not my problem, is it? I'm not the listener. I'm the speaker.
You're the speaker. It doesn't matter to you.
You'll fucking listen. If I repeat myself, you'll damn well listen to it.
Hopefully.
If you're still listening.
Hopefully, if life finds a way, which it normally does, as Jeff Goldblum and
every time so far it has.
Richard Attenborough have suggested to us.
Yet, so I don't know quite what I'm agreeing to here. But if nature finds
if life finds a way, we'll be here next week.
Yes, okay, right, good.
This is me from Nova Scotia saying,
Toodle pip.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Layers. Layers.
Layers.